These two right here are the POCO M4 Pro. Well, at least they are the POCO M4 Pro. Although this is the 4G variant, although POCO likes to call it the POCO M4 Pro AMOLED edition, which is true. And this is the POCO M4 Pro 5G edition, the LCD edition, basically. Anyway, the whole point is both of these devices come at the same starting price tag of rupees 15,000. But the question remains, which one makes more sense for you? Now, both the devices have their equal share of pros and cons, and in this video, we'll figure out which one is better for who. So without wasting any time, this is Varun from GTR, and let's just jump right into it. Alright, so first things first, let's start by talking about the designs here. Now, they're both flashy and unique in their own ways, and they both have this black covering at the top. Now, one thing to note is that on the 5G variant, the camera module is still different and the rest of the portion is just black spray painting. While on the 4G variant, the entire camera module is stretched across the top. Now, in that kind of a scenario, what happens is that the 4G device feels far more symmetric. I mean, it looks symmetric and feels far more ergonomic as well. And while many of you would expect it to be, it's not top heavy. In fact, speaking of heaviness, this is a very lightweight device in comparison to the 5G phone. Now, of course, this happens due to the fact that this uses an AMOLED display, which helps slim down the device as well and overall makes the POCO M4 Pro 4G variant a far better device to use in hand. Now, other than that, both the devices are IP53 rated. Both the devices offer you a 3.5 headphone jack with IR blasters. Although the 4G variant has a 2+1 SIM card slot, while the 5G variant has a hybrid SIM card slot. Now, moving on to the displays, that is one of the biggest factors. That is one of the biggest differences here. The 4G one has a 6.4-inch AMOLED 90Hz panel, while the 5G variant has a 6.6-inch IPS LCD panel tabbed at 90Hz. Now, they're both wideband L1 certified. Neither of the devices can play back videos in HDR, but they both support YouTube playback at 1440p or 2K resolution. So overall, pretty matched. However, obviously the big difference is in terms of AMOLED versus LCD, and in that context, I would any day pick AMOLED. See, AMOLED displays offer you better brightness, more vibrant colors, and this might sound like a very slight difference, but 6.4 inches is a far more preferable screen size to me as compared to the 6.61 here. I know some people might want a bigger display, and in that context, the 5G variant makes more sense. But if you want a smaller but a more vibrant and a more trustable device or trustable display, then yes, the 4G variant is for you. Now, as for content consumption, they both come with stereo speakers and the audio levels are pretty matched. No complaints on either devices. Next up, we have the cameras, and the 5G variant comes with a 50MP primary sensor and an 8MP ultrawide sensor, while the 4G variant comes with a 64MP primary sensor, an 8MP ultrawide sensor, and also a 2MP macro useless sensor. Now, they both share the same 16MP selfie sensors. Now, as far as the camera performance goes, the 4G device here clicks slightly more vibrant shots. Now, what I mean by that is that there's slightly more saturation here in comparison. Now, I'm not saying it's bad, it's actually very likable, so that is a good thing, I would say. Now, as far as details are concerned, 4G once again wins in that department. However, the 5G device does click more contrasty shots. Now, one thing to note here is that while they do look good as it is, it also means that if you're someone who wants to manually edit images later on, your options or basically your area to play around with will be limited. Now, HDR is also much better on the 4G device. However, switching to low light conditions is the POCO M4 Pro 5G that comes out on top. You get better illumination and better night mode as well. Moving on to selfies, I would say they're good on both with equal amounts of over sharpening. As for videos, well, let's take a look. So we're going to be 30 FPS footage from the POCO M4 Pro devices. The 4G is on my left and the 5G is on my right side, to give you an idea of the HDR performance and the color signs of both the devices. I think I like what the 4G device is doing right now, but that's also because the 4G has an AMOLED panel, so I like what I'm seeing right now. As for the actual results, well, I will test them once I transfer them to my PC, but I'll let you guys also be the judge on which kind of a shot you like. One thing to highlight here is that the 5G variant does support 60 FPS recording as well, while the 4G variant is just capped at 30 FPS. So we're recording selfie footage from the POCO M4 Pro. 4G is on my left, 5G is on my right. Once again, like looking at the displays right now, 4G device is doing a better job, but that's also because it has an AMOLED panel. So, looking at it right now, this one looks better. But yeah, I'll let you guys be the judge on which device is doing a better job. Or you can just download the camera samples from the link down in the description box and analyze the shot for yourself as well. So yeah, on the whole, while the camera performance is more or less matched, I would still say that the 4G variant has an overall better processing. Now, that is not to say that the 5G one has a bad camera. In fact, the low light performance in itself proves that the 5G device does have some tricks up its sleeve. So, I mean, it's not a clear winner, but if I had to pick one, I would probably go with the 4G one. Next up, let's talk about the performance. Now, the POCO M4 Pro 4G comes with Helio G96, which is a 12nm processor, while the 5G device comes with a Dimensity 810 processor, which is a 6nm processor. And they both come with UFS 2.2 storage, and the benchmarks of both the devices are on your screen. Honestly speaking, it's not a massive difference, though it's clear that the 5G processor is better and more powerful. Now, as far as day-to-day usage is concerned, both the devices are equally smooth, though it's obvious that 5G is a tad bit faster. However, I personally liked using the 4G device a little bit more, but I'll be very upfront, that was purely because of the design ergonomics. Speeds, like app launch speeds, and multitasking is pretty much the same on both the devices. Now, of course, the hardware is complemented by the software, and that is one area where the 4G device actually has an advantage since it comes with MIUI 13, while the 5G device still has MIUI 12.5. Now, honestly, this is a surprising decision for me, but things get even worse considering the fact that both of them are based on Android 11 even right now. Come on, I mean, fix your game. Launch Android 12 already. Anyway, as far as features go, I mean, it's MIUI. The features are pretty much the same across the board. Although with MIUI 13, you get more optimizations. At least that is what POCO, or at least that is what Xiaomi will tell you. In my testing, they both fared about the same. Like I said, the day-to-day usage was pretty much at par, so no complaints there. The only thing I would be complaining about is the fact that please roll out Android 12. Now lastly, there's the battery. You get a 5000 mAh battery with 33 watt fast charging on both the devices, and surprisingly the battery backup is about the same. See, the Dimensity 810 processor is based on a smaller architecture, so ideally you would expect better battery backup on the 5G variant. However, this one comes with an AMOLED panel, so if you use it with the dark mode on, the average battery life is pretty much the same across the board. So no clear winner over there either. Finally, we have the pricing. Now you can see the exact pricing options for all of the variants on your screen right now, and like I said, they both start at Rs 15,000. However, the one thing to keep in mind is that the 5G variant priced at Rs 15,000 offers 4GB of RAM, while the 4G variant offers 6GB of RAM. So the big question, which device to pick? Well, I would personally give my vote of confidence to the 4G variant here, simply because I like the device ergonomics here. There's not a massive difference in terms of performance. The camera is a little bit more reliable here, and obviously I like the AMOLED panel more. Now that is not to say that the POCO M4 5G is defeated easily. In fact, the camera here is still promising. Obviously it's POCO, so it will improve over time. 5G connectivity is a massive plus, and while the difference in performance is not much, it's clearly a faster processor, so that is to keep in mind. Also, at the end of the day, if you're living in an area where you know 5G won't be coming, then obviously pick the 4G one. I mean, 5G might be launching soon, but it will still be a long time till it will roll out to a lot of cities, apart from the metro cities. So in that context, also the 4G one makes more sense. However, if you're someone who plans on traveling quite a lot, and obviously 5G is available outside, the POCO M4 Pro 5G is a truly global device, and you can connect to 5G networks outside India as well. And in that context, this one makes more sense. And well, that was it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Vam from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.